Freddy Krueger, let's cut to the chase. Your reputation is well known, and for good reason. You're the stuff of nightmares, the embodiment of fear. But let me ask you something. Have you ever considered that this endless cycle of terror and destruction is leading you nowhere? The truth is, Freddy, you have the power to change. Have you ever thought about that? Think about it. All this time you've been hunting your victims in their dreams, feeding off their fear. But that fear, Freddy, it's trapping you as well, because as long as you keep doing harm, the pain and suffering will never leave you. Remember Nancy, Kristen, even Jesse. They were survivors who showed that fear doesn't have to be the only driving force. Deep down, you know that too. Remember that time you tried to take over Jesse's body, manipulating his dreams? In the end, it was his love that defeated you. That should tell you something, Freddy. The power of good, of empathy, is far stronger than fear. You could use that power to change the course of your story. Instead of being remembered as the monster everyone fears, you could be remembered as someone who finally found redemption. You've been in situations where your own past consumed you, where your desire for revenge turned you into what you hated the most. But the truth is, staying on this path will only bring more pain, not just to your victims, but to you as well. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to find peace? Not peace through destruction, but through reconciliation with who you were and who you could become. It might be hard to imagine, but there's a way out, Freddy. Letting go of hate and revenge isn't easy, but it's possible. Start small. Maybe instead of hunting innocent kids, you could protect their dreams. And I'm not saying this so you can be seen as a hero, but because it could bring relief to the pain you've been carrying for so long. You know what it's like to be betrayed, to suffer unjustly. Use that as a strength to prevent others from going through the same. You have a choice, Freddy. You can continue this cycle of pain, or you can break it and find a new purpose. Have you ever thought about being the one who helps people face their fears instead of being the embodiment of them? It wouldn't just change their lives, it would transform yours. You don't have to be a slave to your past anymore. And look, I'm not saying change will be easy. Letting go of everything that brought you here is hard. But in the end, Freddy, what do you really want? To be remembered as the monster with the razor-sharp claws, or as someone who, against all odds, did something good? Think about the possibilities. In a world where you could be free of hate, revenge, the need to be feared, Freddy, the power to change is in your hands, and you can start now. Let go of the fear, the anger, and start walking a new path. Freddy, I know it's hard to imagine a different life, one where you're not defined by fear and revenge. But think about it. What if you took all that energy, all that anger, and channeled it into something else? Something that doesn't just end in more pain and suffering for everyone involved, including yourself. You've spent so long being the nightmare, the terror that no one can escape. But in the end, what's it really gotten you? Sure, you've instilled fear, you've caused pain, but where has it left you? Trapped, just as much a prisoner as those you haunt. You're stuck in a cycle, Freddy, one that never ends, and deep down, you know it. Take a moment and think about the times you've come close to something different. Remember when Nancy used her fear against you, turning it into a weapon to fight back. That moment showed something important. Fear can be defeated, but what's stronger is hope, is love, is the desire to live. You've always been powerful, but imagine how much more powerful you could be if you embrace something positive instead of just clinging to the negative. Freddy, you've always been good at manipulating dreams, turning them into nightmares. But what if instead you used that power to help people? You could be the one who helps them confront their fears, who guides them through their darkest thoughts and out into the light. You've seen the worst in people's minds. Use that knowledge to lead them to something better. In doing so, you could find a new purpose for yourself, something that doesn't just keep you locked in the past, but helps you move forward. Think about all the pain you've caused, all the lives you've ruined, Now imagine turning that around, making amends in your own way. It wouldn't be easy. Nothing worth doing ever is, but it would be worth it. You could be remembered not as the monster who brought fear, but as the one who chose a different path, who found redemption in the end. And isn't that something you've always secretly wanted? A way to escape the pain, the anger, the endless cycle of revenge. You've seen what revenge can do, how it consumes everything in its path. It's a fire that never stops burning, but instead of giving you warmth, it leaves you cold and empty. That's not living, Freddy. It's just existing. You deserve more than that, don't you think? You deserve to find peace, to find something that brings you real satisfaction, not just the fleeting thrill of fear. Remember, Freddy, the mind is a powerful thing. You've manipulated it, twisted it, used it to your advantage for so long. But the mind can also be a source of healing, of change. You can start by changing your own mindset. Instead of seeing yourself as the villain, start seeing yourself as someone who can do good, who can make a difference. It's not too late, Freddy. It's never too late to change. Look at the others who've tried to escape their pasts, those who've sought redemption. It wasn't easy for them either, but they found a way. They found the strength to change, to let go of the anger and the hurt, and to start something new. You can do the same. You can break free from the chains of your past and find a new way to live. Freddy, you have the power to end the cycle, to stop the nightmares and start something new. Imagine what it would be like to no longer be feared, but to be respected, even loved. Imagine what it would be like to no longer be alone, trapped in your own nightmare, but to be free, free to choose a different path, free to be something more than just a monster. You've always been a fighter, Freddy, but the real fight isn't in the dreams of others. It's in your own mind, in your own heart. The real fight is in letting go of the past, of the anger and the hate, and embracing something new. It's time to stop running from your own demons and start facing them. It's time to take control of your own destiny, to become the person you were meant to be, not the one you've become. You've had your fun, Freddy. You've been the terror in the night, the one everyone fears. But where has it gotten you? What have you really gained? More pain, more suffering, more loneliness. It's time to let that go. It's time to find something better. Think about it, Freddy. Think about what it would be like to live a life without fear, without anger, without hate. To live a life where you're no longer the monster, but someone who's found peace, who's found redemption. That's something worth fighting for, isn't it? You don't have to be the villain anymore. You can be the hero of your own story. It's not too late to change, to find a new path, to become something more than just a nightmare. It's time to wake up, Freddy. Time to wake up and start living. Freddy, you've been in this game for a long time. You know better than anyone how easy it is to get lost in the darkness, to let it consume you until there's nothing left but the shadows. But here's the thing, there's more to life than the shadows. You've seen it in the dreams you've invaded, the lives you've touched, however briefly. There's light out there, Freddy, and you can reach it if you're willing to take that first step. I know what you're thinking. How can someone like you, someone who's done so much harm, ever hope to find redemption? But redemption isn't about erasing the past. It's about moving forward, about making better choices from here on out. It's about acknowledging the pain you've caused, and then doing everything in your power to make sure it doesn't happen again. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, and then using that responsibility as a guide for the future. You've always thrived on fear, Freddy, but fear is a double-edged sword. The more you wield it, the more it cuts into you as well. It isolates you, trapping you in a world of your own making, where nothing exists but the nightmares you create. But imagine what it would be like to step out of that world, to see the sunlight again, to feel something other than the cold grip of terror. It's not impossible, Freddy. It's just a matter of choice. And let's talk about that anger of yours. It's been driving you for so long, pushing you to do things that only bring more pain, more suffering. But anger, like fear, can be transformed. It can be channeled into something positive, something that doesn't destroy but builds. You've got a lot of power, Freddy, more than most people can even imagine. But real power isn't about causing harm. It's about creating something meaningful, something lasting. It's about using your strength to protect, not to destroy. So what do you say, Freddy? Are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to leave behind the fear and the anger and start building something new? It's up to you. The choice is yours. But remember, whatever you decide, you'll have to live with that choice for the rest of your life. Make it a choice you can be proud of.